Hello and welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode on F1 2021. Today we are at Zandvoort. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. We are in the Netherlands, we're in Holland, and we are going to try our best to see how we do at one of the newer circuits. Obviously it's not actually been raced at real life yet, so it'll be very interesting to see what it's going to be like this season. I believe we are going to it in the calendar this year, obviously between Belgium and Italy. I'm just having a look at some R&D upgrades. I'm always I'm trying to have one on the go as soon as I get enough R&D points. As you can see, we've actually got a better car than the Alpine, which is good. Alfa Romeo have somehow jumped us, which is a bit of a strange one. Doesn't really show through results. Maybe it does, I'm not sure. This might be Lundgaard's last ever race for South Blues Racing. We're potentially going to sign a new driver in the next episode. We're just quickly going to rush through practice. I thought I'd speed it up for the future episodes because it's a bit boring to watch. It was new when it started, but it's done now. Let's get into the qualifying when we get a second to. And let's see what we can do in our best qualifying lap round Zandvoort. As per recent videos, I'm only going to show you my best lap during qualifying, obviously in Q1 sorry. If we do get through, I will show you that, then next best lap, and then again if we do get to Q1, which I'm not sure will happen this season, I'll show you, maybe not quite I wouldn't show you the Q1 lap, I'll just keep it to a maximum of 2 laps in qualifying. I don't know what any of these corners are called at the Netherlands track, but we're currently half a tenth up on our best time. This is our 3rd lap, it's probably actually our 5th or 6th lap at qualifying. Obviously I've got to do a couple of laps on each set of tyres. As we go around the final bend with almost 2 tenths up on our time, it does look like we're going to be starting from the back. Is that true? It does look like it. I didn't see our name shoot up. Let's have a little look. Bottas gets provisional pole. Lewis Hamilton is down in 16th position, strangely enough. We're in P22, so we will be getting new. We've actually got a penalty there, I'm not sure what that was for. Let's jump into the race.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and Zandvoort, 25 miles away from Amsterdam, and the host for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Sainz, Norris, Vettel, Gasly and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Christian Lundgaard and George Russell, Mazepin, Tsunoda. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Latifi and the owner driver. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Right, strategy wise, I'm thinking about a soft strategy, a 2-stop. As you can see, we took a 22 grid place penalty just for the new components. We were starting from the back anyway, so I thought might as well. As you can see, Tsunoda is starting P20th on a set of softs, so if we can stay near him, it'll be great. Obviously, we'll be on the same tyre compound as we almost lose it down turn 1. So we'll look at a little replay here. Looks like Max Verstappen, or one of the Red Bulls, got a great start, as did Lundgaard, got a great start going around the outside of the Haas drivers. Obviously following Lewis Hamilton through in P16. Hamilton up to 14th. We're going to try and use the grip on Yuki Tsunoda to go up the inside, then round the outside of Russell, outside of Raikkonen. Can we make that move stick? Not quite. We might do on exit. It's a little touch. We check to see if there's any damage. There isn't, which is lucky. We're going to try now to fight on the back of Mick Schumacher. As you can see, Christian Lundgaard does have soft compound tyres as we almost lose it, as we get another collision warning with Kimi Raikkonen. We're almost a second down on Schumacher, so we do need to push on as quick as we can. Three attempts on Lundgaard. We're going to try and get a good run out of the final corner. We do get a great one. We're not going to have any space as we cut to the inside. That we must have been close to Christian there. Let's have a look at a replay. For some reason we got some mad traction coming out of the last corner. And he closed the door on the outside, so we had to switch to the inside with the pace advantage that we did have. Probably lost a little bit of time, but we're going to get the position going into turn 1. We're now chasing Esteban Ocon through the first sector. Can we get a good run on the Alpine driver on the harder compound of tyres? We're going to try and squeeze up the inside, and we do manage to make it stick.
Brilliant. Nice move.
Try and hold on to it around the outside, but Ocon attacks us back, and Ocon retains the position. Very hard to control the car around Zandvoort. Right, second lap. Can we get a good rocket ship exit again? And we can. We managed to make an overtake.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Lewis Hamilton goes around the outside of Antonio Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo and manages to drive off on that lap. Again, now, can we get a good exit out of the final turn and overtake Giovinazzi going into lap 4? Looks like we're going to get a good run. We're going to go around the outside of turn 1. And can we make the move stick? Looks like we can, as Hamilton gets past Fernando Alonso. We're kind of making our way through the pack, but we're making our way through the pack a little bit slower than the Mercedes driver. We get a poor exit there, but I don't think Giovinazzi is going to have the best pace to overtake us. So we stay in 13th now. Well, we stayed in the position we was in until our pit stop. We are into the pit now for a medium set of tyre. We're sticking to strategy if we can. Nothing really happened in that final stint. And as you can see, we come out in pretty much last position. Well, I don't say pretty much. We are in last position, but we're chasing Nicholas Latifi, who's on those harder compound of tyres. We're going to go for that same move again. We get a good acceleration when we cut to the inside of Nicholas Latifi. That must have been very close. Let's have a look at the replay from our front wing. I'm going to slow this down to show you how close we actually did get. Oh, that is close. We didn't actually hit him, but as you're about to see, we did get a warning for contact, but from that camera you can quite clearly see that we didn't hit. As you can see, collision with Latifi. Don't know why it says collision with Latifi.
Yellow flag.
Hit. And there is yellow flags up the road, as you can see on the map. We've got the lights flashing. Not sure what's happened. It looks like Lundgaard is out of the session. I can't quite see. It does look like my teammate has had a problem, as we do drive past him on the next lap. Well, not on the next lap, as we go around the following corner. I was a bit confused what had gone on, so I had a look at the replay after the race. I was trying to figure it out during the race, that's why there was a cut, but I couldn't quite get the right timings of what actually happened. Here we are on board with Christian Lundgaard. As you can see, Giovinazzi is going slow and just turns into her. He just turns into the South Blues racing driver. Unfortunately, I don't think Lundgaard is going to continue in the race. As you can see, he's about to pull over to the right. Giovinazzi up the road pulls over to the right as well. I'm not 100% sure what happened. Let's have a look at the onboard of Antonio Giovinazzi. it looks like he's about to retire with like a mechanical problem, and he just turns into the racing line, and then it looks like Lundgaard gets hit by the Haas driver after the incident as well. Let's have a look through the AlphaTauri's perspective, and he does. Lundgaard just gets smashed into by the Haas as well. So it does look like, well, as you can see, Mick Schumacher losing a little bit of traction. You'll see why we're so close to him on the next clip. Lundgaard, and Giovinazzi are out of the race. Obviously, we're going to be moving past Lance? Definitely Lance Stroll. Mick Schumacher here. He hasn't got much of a front wing, so we should be able to get past him pretty sharpish, which we have done. On to lap 13. We're now in P18. Lap 18 now. We've jumped ahead because not really much happened. We was just chasing down Nikita Mazepin. As we do make the move going into turn 1 of lap 19. We're now on the back of George Russell. But as you can see down the bottom right, we're under-fueled. We've got, what is that, 17 laps to go? And we're already under-fueled, so our potential race finish isn't going to be as good as it could have been, simply because I have to lift a lot of the time during the next 10-15 laps of this race, which is a little bit unfortunate. We jumped to the end of lap 19 now. We've got DRS on George Russell. We're going to try and go for a move up the inside. We don't. We back out of that. But as you can see, we're still under fueled, so we are having to lift, well, heading into corners, which isn't great. I think Zandvoort is probably one of the better tracks to do it at, because obviously there's a lot of sweeping corners, but it does mean we'll be losing a lot of time to the AI. Russell in P15 now, as cars must have pitted. As we get our rocket ship exit out of the final turn, and we use DRS to get round the outside of George Russell and into P15. Right, lap 25 now, and I think this might be our pit-in lap. It might not be. As you can see, Ocon is in the pits, P13, so we must have overtaken someone that's pitted. We are heading into the pits on this lap, P14. So it'll be interesting to see where we come out of the pit. It looks like we're going to be overtaken by a lapped Mercedes. It looks like the Ferrari there, and then it's Raikkonen that's going to go past us.
Complete, go now.
In the Alfa Romeo, of course.
Pit strategy complete.
Might not get past
See these tyres through to the end.
George Russell tries to get past us. He pitted the lap earlier, the lap previous, but we stay out ahead of him in P16. We're now on a fresh set of soft tyres. Lap 27 now. This is my personal best lap of the race.
Our gap to the car in front is 8.7 seconds.
We still don't have much fuel in the car, so fortunately for us, we are a lap down, so we don't actually need to be. As you can see, Russell almost gets hit by the Haas driver. He goes wide going through that corner. Yeah, we don't actually need to have positive fuel because we have a whole lap less to do. I didn't realise that until the end of the race, if I'm completely honest, which we should have worried about. As you can see here, Williams driver getting lapped by the front runners. I think that might have been Nicholas Latifi, who obviously pitted a lot later than George Russell. I think this is Russell and, I want to say, Mazepin fighting for position behind us. It is Russell and Mazepin. We've now got Leclerc behind us, followed by Perez, who we have to let pass. We've also got, I believe that's Hamilton and Verstappen quite close behind us as well. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a lot of time, but as you can see up the top left, Mazepin and Russell lost about 4 seconds letting this pack of cars through. We're going to try to let them through on the straight so we don't lose that much time to them. So as I said, Leclerc is through. We're going to try. We get a good exit out of turn, I don't know, the final corner. Into turn 1, I think we're going to have to let him back through. We do go wide on that corner, which does let him through nicely. As we let through Perez and Hamilton, who does make slight contact with us as we go wide and let Verstappen through. And it looks like we're in P6, but we're not. We're in P16. Unfortunately, there's 10 cars ahead of us. Well, we should be in P6. Right, lap 33 now, and we've got, is that Ricciardo coming up behind us to lap us, which is unfortunate. We're still sitting in P16. Raikkonen and Tsunoda have gone their miles up the road. As Ricciardo actually does a little bit of a lock up there, but
blue flag conditions create a gap and let the car behind through.
We're happy to let him through, as I'm pretty sure we've now got Carlos Sainz right behind us, who we're going to have to let through again. We have managed to keep a 5-second gap to Mazepin. as we let Sainz through there. We have managed to keep a 4-second gap now, but I think we're going to be able to hold on to P16 at the Netherlands Grand Prix. Obviously, we're not getting points, but we are finishing, I say, best of the worst pack. Raikkonen's probably the best at the moment. I think they've got a better car than us as we cross the line as Valtteri Bottas wins the Grand Prix. But
that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
If we can start to compete with the Alfa Romeos and potentially the Alpines and the Alfa Tauris, I'll be happy. We've definitely got the hold over the Williams and the Haas drivers.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he pulled off some impressive feats out on the track today, even by his standards.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.